The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
Steelers being introduced at Heinz Field. They'll be off next week for hosting a divisional playoff game. Cleveland coming to town here.
I'll tell you what, I like the Steelers today. Plaxico Burress, Heinz Ward, the best blocking receivers in the NFL.
Don't forget who you are, Pittsburgh. Last week was a mirage. Run the football, play good defense, don't turn it over, you'll be all right.
And they've given up over 300 yards passing, though, Mike, 3 of the last 4 weeks. That's part of their defense. They have to shore that up.
I agree with you all the way, Randy. I think they need some sacks. They need to get after the quarterback and show they can still pressure.
All right, for those of you scheduled to see only a 4 o'clock game, we're back in just a moment. But for most of you, it's game time on the NFL Today. Enjoy it all right here on CBS.
Come to us, please.
All right, Jim, from Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's one of the great rivalries in the National Football League as the Steelers take on the Browns. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Brent Jones. The Steelers have clinched home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They will have a first-round bye. So, Brent, with all that in mind, what do they play for today?
Gus, the most important thing, first of all, stay healthy. Can't have any injuries, can't afford any injuries at this point. And second on the docket, personal goals. The wide receivers, Plaxico Burress, Heinz Ward, both have a chance to go over 1,000 yards in the same season. Very significant. For the Cleveland Browns, an opportunity to go 500 if they win. A great accomplishment under first-year head coach Butch Davis.
The bus is out of the lineup because of a groin injury for the 5th straight game. So, Chris Tuamatamafala gets the start.
Don't miss the following presentation of the National Football League.
Images that define a decade of dominance and 4 Super Bowl titles. That famous foundation has been left behind. A new era has begun. The Pittsburgh Steelers are riding a wave of confidence into the NFL playoffs. But before the race to the Super Bowl begins, it's the hated Browns next on CBS. From Heinz Field, it's the National Football League on CBS Sports today. One of the great rivalries in the league, the Steelers and Browns. The opening kickoff after this.
Subway presents Fresh Start. A salute to teams who have overcome obstacles and are now forces to reckon with. Subway, eat fresh. Head coach Mike Holmgren's Seahawks kept their playoff hopes alive thanks to 3 touchdown passes from quarterback Trent Dilfer in a 25-22 win over the Chargers in Week 16. Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb also threw 3 touchdowns as the Eagles won their first NFC East title since 1988 with a 24-21 victory over the Giants.
His name is Henry, Clay Henry. He's a fireman and a Jared fan from Subway. He got real big on burgers and fries. Now he's down to a smaller size. Gets his might from his veggie delight. Great taste each day from his local Subway. He's Henry, Clay Henry.
With exercise and a diet including Subway's 7 delicious sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less, people like Clay Henry are inspirations for everyone.
Subway, eat fresh.
Proud sponsor of the American Heart Association's Heart Walk.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. The weather conditions, 34 degrees at kickoff time. They're expecting maybe 5 inches of snow. Pittsburgh has won the toss, will receive Butch Davis. 7-8 this season, an outstanding rookie season for this Cleveland Browns team. And they are looking to go 500 with a win today. On the other sideline, Bill Cowher, his team already clinching home field advantage and a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And this is Edwards from the 10-yard line. Edwards over the 25 up to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line, an 18-yard return. Tackled by Wally Rayner on special teams. So here comes Cordell Stewart and the Pittsburgh offense. Cordell last week, 19 of 35, 251 yards through 4 interceptions. And he has been named to the Pro Bowl, a heck of an accomplishment for Cordell as a starting quarterback.
His first Pro Bowl, and he's had a phenomenal season, Gus. Voted by his teammates this year the MVP of the Steelers. Was a phenomenal season, and he's really opened up this passing game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
First down and 10 at the 28. Chris Fuamatama lines up as the deep man in the backfield. Here's Stewart. The pass on first down underneath. It's caught. Hines Ward with the reception. And Ward picks up 8 yards on the play. So let's take a look at the Steelers offensively. They're number 1 in the NFL. Rushing the football, Gandy, Vincent, Harding, Tilsky, and Marvin of game. Second down and 3 at the 35.
339! Here! Come here! 339!
Here's Chris Fuamatama over the left side, and Fu gets close to the first down, maybe about a yard short of the first down. Earl Little coming up and making the tackle. Defensively for the Browns, they allowed close to 500 yards last week versus the Tennessee Titans. Won the game. Rodgers, Warren Smith, and Greg Spires. The linebackers, Rayner in the middle, Rudd, and the Pro Bowler, Jameer Miller. The secondary, Bush and Little are the safeties. McCutcheon and Corey Fuller are the cornerbacks. Third down and 1 from the 37. Here's Chris Fuamatama, leans forward and picks up the first down. Dwayne Rudd coming up and making the tackle.
And Gus, that's exactly what the Steelers wanted to do. Come out early, move the chains, have a couple of sustained drives. Don't expect to see Cordell Stewart in the game more than a couple series. Maybe the same thing with their wide receivers. Obviously, the Bus not playing today. When he got to the stadium this morning, it was snowing. The turf isn't that great down there, tough footing. And so the Steelers decided to just keep Bus on ice today.
First down and 10 at the 40. Stewart lines up in the shotgun. 4-receiver package. Here's Stewart looking, fires. It's incomplete. Hines Ward, the intended receiver, and he takes a hit. Jameer Miller coming up and rocking Ward, one of the toughest little receivers in the National Football League. And how about Jameer Miller? What a season, heading to the Pro Bowl, his first.
His first Pro Bowl, and he really had a significant year rushing the passer, being the leader of this Cleveland Browns defense, and it's been great to do a couple of their games and see the significance that he's had and the impact this year. Look at that, 13 sacks, tied for 3rd in the NFL, and I know he was excited to get voted to his first Pro Bowl.
Most sacks by a Brown since Reggie Camp had 14 in 1984. Second and 10 at the 40. Stewart, the short drop, fires. Plexico Burris with the reception, and he bounces forward out of bounds at the 44. And here's another young man, a first-round draft pick out of Michigan State. Last season struggled, but we talked to him yesterday, and he's so happy with Mike Mularkey's offense. He told us that last year he would come to the line of scrimmage and have 5 routes to run. Now it's only 1 or 2, and he's been able to play full speed the entire year.
Well, it's been so significant for the Steelers passing game that he's kind of come into his own this year. And you talked about 4 or 5 options at the line of scrimmage last year. You give a rookie 4 or 5 options to run on a pass route, he's going to run the wrong one every time.
Third down and 6 from the 44. They need to go to the 50 for a first down. Stewart out of the shotgun. Plenty of time underneath. It is incomplete. Intended for Hines Ward. Good coverage on the play, however, by Raymond Jackson. And the Steelers will have to punt it away.
Cordell Stewart taking a shot down the field on the seam route. And they looked and saw Hines Ward splitting that seam versus that 2-deep coverage of the Cleveland Browns. And hey, if you're going to only be in this game for a couple series, take your shots downfield. And we talked about the top of the show, both Ward and Burris trying to become the only receiving tandem in Pittsburgh history to get 1,000 yards the same year.
Kevin Johnson back deep, starts from his own 6, and he steps out of bounds at the 10. A 49-yard punt, a 4-yard return. And Tim Couch and the Cleveland offense will take the field here in the first quarter of play. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. First down and 10 for the Browns at their own 10-yard line. Tim Couch, the numbers last week, the offense exploding in their 41-38 win over the Titans. Play action on first down. Couch looking underneath. It's caught. Kevin Johnson with the reception at the 27. A gain of 18. Brent Alexander with the tackle. But Tim Couch's numbers, 20 of 27, last week versus Tennessee on the road, 336 yards, and he throws a strike.
And when Tim Couch has time to throw the ball, he's very accurate. You see the strike right there to Kevin Johnson coming across, a little misdirection action. And Tim Couch told us they were the most aggressive that they'd been since he'd been with Cleveland. Here this last week, very aggressive play calling and throwing the ball down the field.
First down and 10 at the 27. Couch, short drop underneath O.J. Santiago with the grab at the 35. Earl Holmes with the tackle. So offensively for the Browns, their offense ranks 30th in the league of 31 teams. However, they've suffered a number of injuries. Verba, O'Hara, Willibaugh, Bedell, and Chinois. Backs and receivers. Jamel White is the feature. Rod Monroe is the fullback. Kevin Johnson, Quincy Morgan, the receivers. O.J. Santiago, the tight end. And Bruce Arians is the offensive coordinator. Second down and 1 from the 36. They hand it off to White over the left side, and he goes forward, picks up the first down. Defensively for the Steelers, number 1 against the rush, number 1 overall in the National Football League. Smith Hampton, Von Oelhoffen. The linebackers, Jason Gilden, Earl Holmes, Kendrell Bell, the rookie, and Clark Higgins. Meanwhile, in the secondary, it's Scott and Washington on the corners. Alexander and Lee Flowers are the safeties. Browns with the first down at the 38. Ben Gay in the lineup. The deep man as Kevin Johnson goes in motion. Play action, Couch setting up, pumping, dancing, fires, incomplete. Kevin Johnson, the intended receiver.
And Gus, one of the things that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense wants to come out and have a couple of solid series early, just like their offensive players. You don't want to keep your defensive starters in the game so long. And speaking of solid, look at this Aaron Smith hit on Tim Couch after he gets rid of that ball. But the Steelers haven't been getting as much pressure the last few weeks on quarterbacks, giving quarterbacks time to stand in the pocket. Of course, John Kitna last week throwing for over 400 yards from the Bengals against the Steelers team. They want to feel good going into that bye week and get ready for that first playoff game.
Second down and 10 at the 38. Flags on the play. They pitch it to Gay, who gets around the corner, down the sideline, and out of bounds. But let's see, it's a gain of 14. And it will go against the Steelers.
Offside, 91 defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
91 is Aaron Smith, third-year man out of Northern Colorado, having an outstanding season.
First and 10, Cleveland ball.
But he jumps off, and the Browns will have a first down inside Pittsburgh territory. As Tim Couch steps to the line of scrimmage. Here's the pitch, Gay looking, and Gay is wrapped up at the 49. He loses a yard on the play. Kendrell Bell, the outstanding rookie out of Georgia, second-round pick, comes up and makes the tackle.
And what a year Kendrell Bell has had for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Let's watch his eyes. He's going to follow this play. He sees run right now, the toss. Watch him knife through, get right in onto the back. Ben Gay, quality tackle. And here's a young man that, as a rookie, made first alternate for the Pro Bowl this year behind Zach Thomas and Ray Lewis. What a significant year. Thomas actually has had a banged-up shoulder. Kendrell Bell might find himself in Hawaii this year.
Second down and 11 at the 49. They dump it off. White with the reception. Flag on the play as he gets out of bounds at the 45.
Forced out of bounds by Kendrell Bell. Flag on the play.
Kendrell Bell in on the play once again. And it goes against Pittsburgh. A legal lock to the face.
Illegal use of hands. Number 20 on the defense. Hands to the face. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Dwayne Washington.
And usually that's when the corners are trying to get a jam on the wide receivers. Your hand sneaks up the jersey in under the face mask. That's a no-no.
So that makes it 1st and 10 at the 44, 7th play of the drive. That started at the 10-yard line for the Browns. Browns looking to go 8-8 on the season, and Tim Couch said it would really jumpstart their offseason program if they're able to improve to 500. But there, White unable to get out of bounds. Chad Scott stringing out the play nicely and makes the tackle for a loss.
And when usually you see that late flag,
it goes against Cleveland.
Yeah, usually it's a face mask, but it looked like they're calling it against the Browns this time around.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 34 on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Ben Gay.
And that's taking a shot after the whistle blows, sneaking up in there. And this Browns team, they play hard to the whistle. And that time, actually, Ben Gay playing past the whistle.
And Butch Davis told us that Ben Gay is an exciting player. The problem is sometimes he's exciting for the other team.
That's right. There's going to always be some excitement around Ben Gay, he told us. And that's very true. He's got some great speed, some great athleticism for this young man.
2nd down and 28. Rubbing the refs the wrong way there. Here's Couch underneath. Caught. White with the grab, and he gets close to the original line of scrimmage and gain of 18 on the play. Jason Gilden coming up and making the tackle.
And how about the impact Jamel White's had in this offense the last 3 or 4 weeks? Done a solid job running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield. This young man can make some things happen in that open field. Great elusiveness, soft hands, makes some things happen, makes people miss, and he's been a big part of the resurgence of this Browns offense here the last 3 or 4 weeks.
So that makes it 3rd down and 10 at the 44. They need to go to the 34 for a first down. Quincy Morgan, the motion man. White on the draw, and he's stopped at the 40. A lot of hard hitting going on. Jason Gilden coming up and making the tackle after a 4-yard gain on the diminutive Jamel White. So that makes it 3rd down and 6, make it 4th down and 6. Correction, 3rd down and 6. Here's Couch operating out of the shotgun. Looking, and Couch under pressure, gets out of trouble, fires. Incomplete. Aaron Smith with pressure.
And Aaron Smith told us coming into this game they wanted to get more pressure from the defensive line. Aaron Smith had 7 sacks this year. Watch number 94, though, Gus. Rodney Bailey has a clear shot. You got to wrap up, make that tackle. Nice elusiveness by Tim Couch getting out of the pocket and avoiding the sack. But he takes a big shot from Aaron Smith.
So the Browns forced to punt it away. Hank Poteet with the fair catch signal at the 10. 6:13 to go here in the first quarter of play. Cordell Stewart remains in the game. Back to Pittsburgh after this.
On CBS is sponsored by the all-new Honda CR-V, a vehicle designed for your adventures in reality. Nextel, how business gets done. And by IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level.
A statue of the great Art Rooney outside of Heinz Field. No score, 6:13 to play in the first, and the snow really coming down now here in Pittsburgh. They're expecting 4 to 5 inches. 1st and 10 for the Steelers at their own 12. Chris Guamatama-Pala. And he turns it up, gets over the 15, up to the 17. Stopped on the play by Alvin McKinley. A gain of 5.
I guess one of the things that we didn't get a chance to see last week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we didn't see Cordell Stewart break the pocket and run the ball. He's got 499 yards rushing. He mentioned to us he'd love to get at least 1 more yard. That even 500 number sounded really nice to him, and I look for him to get that rollout thing going here pretty quick. You're going to get him his legs moving.
499 yards rushing for Cordell Stewart, number 1 in the NFL. Drops the ball, picks it up, fires Fires toward the sideline, incomplete. Underthrown, intended for Hines Ward. When it comes to running the football, nobody better in this league than Cordell Stewart. #1 in the NFL. Donovan McNabb right behind him. Dante Culpepper.
A little slippery down there. Not only is it cold, it feels a little wet. They've got heating coils under the field, Gus, and actually makes that snow turn to water, and it's a little sloppy down there on the field.
They're down 5 at the 17. They need to go to the 22 for a first down. Here's Stewart looking underneath. Plexico Burris drops it, picked up by Raymond Jackson. And we have our first turnover of the game. That ball going right through the hands of Plexico Burris. And the Cleveland Browns pick up their 31st interception of the season.
And Gus, this is just the weather. The ball is slippery, goes right through Plexico's hands. Kept his eyes on it, just slid right through, and that's what you don't want if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't want to look sloppy here in the first quarter. And of course, the Browns came into this game leading the league in interceptions, and that's going to be number 31. Very aggressive, opportunistic defense.
One shy of the club record of 32 back in 1968. First and 10 at the 27. They run the reverse. Quincy Morgan has Couch in front of him with the lane. Morgan spinning, still on his feet, down inside the 5. Quincy Morgan, a 25-yard gain, and Tim Couch was out there leading the way.
He was leading the way, but I think Gus, after he got about 5 or 10 yards downfield, he probably said, "Hey, what am I doing down here? Watch him. He's got some wheels. He's taking the lead right here, and he's looking. Watch him go. Hey, what? Oh, watch out. Hey, oh." That's great. And Tim Couch is the toughest quarterback as there is in the NFL. He stood in the pocket these last couple of years, taking shot after shot.
Officially a 23-yard run. First and goal at the 4. The Browns decide to run it. Gay putting the ball on the carpet, on the field rather. Pittsburgh says that they have it. Lee Flowers making the tackle.
And I know Gay takes a big shot from his own man right there, the helmet. Is that ball out? His knee has not yet touched the ground, Gus. From that angle, it's tough to tell. And you'd have to have conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the field. It's not being challenged. Browns hang on to it.
Second down goal at the 5. Here's White running, tucking inside. Flags on the play. Brent Alexander coming up and making the tackle. I believe the Steeler jumped offside.
Alexander and Holmes on the tackle, flag on the play.
I think it's going to be Kendrell Bell. And been in a very aggressive, blitzing middle linebacker for this Pittsburgh Steeler team this year.
And Kendrell Bell, Coach Cower told us yesterday in our meeting that he's like Joe Louis. He's got a 6-inch.
67 defense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
He's like the great fighter Joe Louis. He's got a 6-inch knockout punch. He can explode through the offensive player 6 inches away.
That's just quick hands, quick explosion. Obviously great strength, and they use him a lot more blitzing than most middle linebackers will do.
Second down and goal at the 3. White. Touchdown, Cleveland. A nice piece of running for Jamel White, and the Browns take a 6-0 lead.
Watch Jamel White just wait for his blocks to develop. A little patience here in the backfield. Cuts back across. Kendrell Bell misses. That's a nice move for Jamel White, and gets vertical. Get that head down. Get in the end zone.
And that's the 4th touchdown for White in his last 3 games. Bill Dawson in to attempt the extra point. It's up and good. 3:29 to go here in the first quarter of play. Jamel White running between the tackles, and the Browns take the early lead over the Steelers. Cleveland with a 7-0 lead, sending it away. Bill Dawson kicking. Here's Edwards. Inside is 15. Edwards over the 25 to maybe the 26. A 16-yard return. 3:20 to go in the first. And here comes Cordell.
Sure doesn't taste this good in New York.
You up here on vacation?
No. Lunch.
Introducing the 260 horsepower Acura TL Type S.
The Dolphins will go for it on 4th down. Davis going to throw over the middle. It's his man. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Miami.
No matter who your favorite team is, NFL Shop is the biggest selection of authentic NFL gear from all 32 teams. Call 1-877-NFL-SHOP for your free team catalog.
CBS next Sunday. Will Julia Roberts, Ray Romano, Tom, Denzel, NSYNC, Ellen, or Mel take home the People's Choice Award?
What could be more special?
Don't miss the show where you choose the winner in movies,
I better get off before I get all choked up.
television,
Survivor!
and music. Go to CBS.com and vote. Then join Carol Burnett and Reba McEntire when Kevin James hosts
Let's hear it for you!
the People's Choice Awards live next Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
Welcome back. 7-0. Cleveland leads Pittsburgh. 3:20 to go here in the first. Cordell Stewart starting the game. 2 of 6 for 11 yards, 1 interception. And Stewart throwing 4 interceptions last week, has one today. Prior to that, had only thrown 5 interceptions the entire season. 1st and 10 at the 27. Play action, Stewart steps up, decides to run. He gets his 500th yard over the 35 up to the 37, a gain of 9. Dwayne Rudd coming up with the tackle.
Little play action pass run. Hadn't seen that one before. I'm sure they've run it at some time, but you think pass right there, and he gets back, plants that foot, and he's off. Little quarterback draw. And you can make some things happen in the open field, and that's great for Cordell because running is part of what he does well.
And that's what he has to do in the playoffs.
Absolutely. They've got to continue to mix it up like they have this whole season.
2nd down 1. Chris Matamaafala over the 35. No gain on the play. Warren with the tackle. So Cordell Stewart now with 508 yards rushing. How impressive is that for a quarterback in this league?
It's so impressive, and it really gives defensive alignments, defensive fronts fit, because you've got to contain, you've got to try to rush the quarterback. They've got a legitimate passing game now. You're going to have the bust to contend with in the playoffs. It's like, where do you stop them? Because if you stop one thing, they can hit you with something else.
3rd down, they need a yard at the 36. Inside handoff, and it's Kreider looking for the 1st down, still on his feet. They push him backwards. So it will depend on the spot.
And I think they're going to be short, and that's clearly, and they're going to actually give him the 1st down without the measurement. And Bush Davis is saying, hey, we need a measurement. And now they're going to come back and measure it. The official signaled 1st down initially. I didn't think Kreider got a whole lot of yards. He had to go about halfway past that yard mark. And he might have got it right there, that lean. And you know what? I think he did go ahead and get the 1st down, Gus. That's pretty close. It's the nose of a football. Got some good eyesight down there, our officials today. Bush Davis saying, I guess so. You guys are right.
Give it to you.
That's right.
And the offensive coordinator, that man, Mike Mularkey, has been rumored to be a candidate for jobs at the University of Florida and maybe even with the Minnesota Vikings. He's done a tremendous job simplifying everything for the Steelers.
Outstanding job this year. We'll talk more about him as the broadcast goes along.
1st and 10 at the 37. Play action, Stewart setting up. Now decides to run. Stewart gets outside. Cordell chopped down at the 44. Dalen McCutcheon coming up and making the tackle, but it's a 7-yard gain. It could have been a 7-yard loss.
And that's what really kills a defense. When you've got all the wide receivers covered, nice play action fake, he lays down with it, you see him get low, no receivers open, you're going to take a sack. Not Cordell Stewart, he's not going to take a sack. Little dipsy-do inside.
Fakes out Rodgers, gets up downfield, 7-yard gain.
That's so frustrating for a defense.
2nd down, 3 at the 44. Play action, Stewart again, setting up. Goes over the middle, caught. Burris with the grab. He gets to the 35. Plexico Burris, a gain of 21.
And watch these two receivers, Ward and Burris, are going to come right in next to each other. Little bunch formation. Hines Ward keeps going, and Burris comes across the middle. Cordell hits him. Nice job, and Plexico Burris has done a fantastic job this year with the ball in his hands, yards after the catch.
And Plexico came into this game with 960 yards receiving, looking for his first 1,000-yard season. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Browns 7, the Steelers nothing. We'll return to Heinz Field right after this message.
I can't even explain it. There'll be a lot of wide eyes out there. I'll be one of those guys.
I can't describe it. You're going to have to see it and feel it yourself to believe it. You know, you can't relax.
I'm anxious. I can't sit still. Just got all these things running through your head.
You just try to soak everything in.
You might have some butterflies, goosebumps everywhere.
That's a good feeling. That's something to build on. It's playoff time.
Don't miss the Michael Jackson special everyone's been talking about. With an all-new, never-before-seen performance with Britney Spears. Michael Jackson's 30th anniversary, CBS Wednesday.
And don't forget, for all the information on the National Football League, log on to NFL.com and see why Phil Simms says there's no such thing as backing into the playoffs. If you're in, you're in. Check it out at NFL.com or America Online, keyword NFL.com. 1st down and 10 for the Steelers as Bill Cowher watches. His Pittsburgh squad has it at the Browns 36. The pitch, Chris Fuamatama-Fala turns it up and gets to the 25. Nicely done, Mark Smith with the tackle, but it's after a gain of 11.
And the line without Alan Faneca today. Watch the right side of the line. A little pressure there. Marvell Smith getting a good block downfield. Big number 77 and opening it up for Fuamatama-Fala to get his shoulders squared and full steam ahead. And that's a tough big boy to try to bring down, Gus, when he's got a full steam.
He's just as big as the bus. Chris Fuamatama-Fala, 6 feet, 255. And Alan Faneca is out of the lineup today for the Browns offensive line. He has a shoulder injury. Therefore, number 68, Kedrick Vincent, has taken his place. And there he is, the bus.
And I think he was going to play before the bad weather today. We talked to him yesterday, and he said he was feeling good, had a good week of practice, getting back into things, and was hoping to get a few carries today. But field conditions, weather, hey, the most important thing, like we said at the top of the show, you've got to be healthy 2 weeks from now. And whoever comes in here to play is going to see the bus, guaranteed.
And what a job he's done with Chris Fuamatama-Fala. They watch film religiously together. And he's always working to help him improve his game. 2nd down and 1 from the 27. Stewart looking, finds Fuamatama-Fala. And Fu tackled at the 15 by Warren, but another gain of 11 yards.
And that's one of the things that Cordell Stewart has done so well this year. He's seeing the whole field, looks downfield, sees his receivers are covered, hit your back out of the backfield, check down, let the big man get a full head of steam. You see that move he puts on Jameer Miller, and Big Boo's got some quick feet. He talked to us about that quick feet, watching Jerome Bettis and the way he hits the hole, and big men with quick feet. It's a dangerous combination.
Fuamatamaufala, a 6th-round pick out of Utah. 1st and 10 at the 17. Had a 37-yard touchdown last week versus Cincinnati on a screen. Here he is, getting his shoulder square. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Chris Fuamatamaufala with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year.
And guess what? Jeremy Tooman right here, number 84. That's the block right there. Sealing Tyrone Rogers, a defensive end. That allows Fuamatamaufala to get his shoulder square, pounded up in there. Another good block by Wayne Gandy. That's the key when you're running that sweep.
Chris Brown into a tip, the extra point. It's up and good. This game tied at 7 apiece on the 17-yard touchdown run.
And you think Mike Mularkey's your offensive coordinator? Your tight ends are going to be able to block. Significant job right there. You see Gandy kicking out Rudd. There's the big open hole for Big Chris.
Just scored from inside the red zone. 57 looking man.
This way. You're not going to believe this.
Fuamatamaufala with the 17-yard touchdown run ties the game up at 7 apiece. The Browns take over from the 20. And this is Jake Moreland with a 13-yard return over the 35. 13:30 to go in the second. Back in a moment.
Mom.
For the best NFL coverage on the net, including expert analysis and live scoreboards, go to cbs.sportsline.com or America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline. 1st down and 10 at the 36. Here's White bottled up, breaks it back, gets to the 40-yard line. Hi, everybody. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones. Our score tied at 7 apiece. Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Talk about this Cleveland team and some of the things they've been able to accomplish this year.
Well, their defense has really done a great job of keeping them in games. I think Butch Davis has done a great job of coaching, really changing their attitude. We've done a lot of Browns games the last couple of years, and they really were not really focused. They were probably lacking a foundation. They didn't have much of an attitude. Butch Davis comes in. He's changed everything. This team expects to win now when they play.
And Couch is sacked at the 30. Kimo von Oelhoffen breaking through and coming up with the play.
And talking about the Browns and what they've done, one of the areas that they probably
will need to address this offense, this offseason, is on the offensive side of the ball, probably specifically the offensive line, maybe the running back position. You see Tim Couch getting the line pushed right back into his face right there. That's one of the areas where this team needs to improve, is on the offensive side of the ball. For the most part, it's been the Tim Couch and Kevin Johnson show. We've had a few young receivers step up the last couple of weeks. Jamel White catching the ball in the backfield as well.
3rd down and 15. Here's Couch. Underneath. Incomplete. Jamel White, the intended receiver. Ball deflected at the line of scrimmage by Aaron Smith, and the Browns are forced to punt it away.
And since the Browns took that 7-0 lead, the Steelers came back, answered it with a drive of their own. They've got to feel good about that offensively, and that was the defensive stand that they needed right there. Maybe another series or two for the starters, and then, Gus, I wouldn't be surprised to see them putting on a jacket.
Gardocki sends it away. Edwards from the 28. Looking to get outside, taken down at the 28. Brant Boyer with the tackle, a 43-yard punt. Back to Pittsburgh right after this.
On CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular. And by Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh.
Steel City, USA. And these fans, very tough fans, brave fans. And it's a little warm, and there's some hot chocolate in that thermos there.
Or maybe coffee.
1st and 10. Here's the handoff for Matamafala to the 30. Gets over the 30 up to the 31 on the play. Now let's go to New York, where Jim Nantz is standing by.
All right, Gus, you've seen the Patriots a bunch this season. Antoine Smith, such a big part of their story. But here, he coughs it up. Mike Minter recovers for the Panthers. 10-0 New England. It remains. Over on the NFC side, Bears with a field goal trying to stave off the Packers, who give up a touchdown to Hilliard. Owens twice in the end zone for the Niners. Back to you.
All right, Jim. 2nd down, 8 at the 31. Antoine Smith, a free agent at the end of the year. Goes to the sideline. Cordell Stewart finds Hines Ward. He gets up to the 37. A gain of 7. So let's take a look. Jim kind of briefed us on what's going on. Let's take a full look at the AFC playoff picture.
Well, New England wins, and they win the East, and that's probably most important. Of course, Seattle, they're the team right here that has an and. They need to win and have the Jets, or, of course, Baltimore lose on Monday night. And so when it's out of your control, that's when you start getting nervous. But Seattle's had a decent run here at the end of the season. But I look for the Ravens to win, and that Jets game that we've got coming up later on CBS is going to be a big game today.
3rd down and short. They need 2 yards. The pitch to Matamafala. He dives forward and picks up the 1st down. Warren with the tackle again. How good is this guy?
You know what? We're starting to find out. And one of the things that Jerome Bettis told us about Chris Matamafala is he is just learning and growing. And Bus said he reminds me of me. And I think that you mentioned early on how they watch film together, and it's just a great opportunity for this young man when the bus is out and to get some big playing time, get a lot of carries, get into a zone, and you see he's progressed every week. He's gotten better.
There's his coach, Jerome Bettis. 1st and 10 from the 41 for Matamafala with 42 yards rushing. Stewart under pressure. Stewart breaks a tackle, dances, fires, incomplete. Cordell Stewart. Now Monday, CBS is the place to be for an all-new night of great television, starting with The King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear and Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond. Then don't miss Ted Danson and Becker, followed by an all-new Family Law Monday on CBS. Heinz Field, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 9:53 to go in the first half of play. Cordell Stewart steps to the line of scrimmage. As you take a look at his numbers, game tied at 7 apiece. 2nd and 10. Stewart steps up with running room. Stewart gets the midfield. Cordell spinning, and he goes down at the 43. A gain of 16. Why is he playing so hard in this kind of game?
Well, he doesn't know anything other than full speed, although he told us yesterday that Coach Cowher said, when you run the ball, I want you to slide or get out of bounds. I think Cordell forgot that at this point. Watch him get out. He's in full momentum right here, going full speed ahead. Doesn't think to slide, takes a shot right there. What you don't want is your starting quarterback heading into the playoffs to take a shot on his throwing shoulder.
Corey Fuller getting him. And Stewart on the day, 3 carries, 32 yards rushing. 1st and 10 at the 43 for Matamafala. Running over people. And Chris for Matamafala down at the 40. Devin Bush holding on. And what a tough way to gain 3 yards.
And this Cleveland Brown defense definitely rallies to the ball carrier, so there's a lot of guys to have to run over and run through. And we've talked about it, they've done a phenomenal job of keeping this team in games this year.
2nd down and 8 at the 41. 8:28 to play here in the 2nd quarter. Truman in motion. Stewart fakes the pitch, rolls. Directing traffic, and Cordell steps out of bounds at the 35. A 6-yard pickup. Now don't forget, coming Tuesday, January 15th on CBS, the creator of JAG brings you a new drama that dares to take you inside the Supreme Court. Joe Mantegna and James Garner star in first Monday. Don't miss the series premiere Tuesday, January 15th on CBS.
You know Joe Montana's from around the Pittsburgh area?
It's Joe Mantegna.
Oh,
it's not Joe Montana. And Joe Montana is from Monongahela, I believe.
You're correct.
They throw it to the sideline, and it is an incomplete pass. Burris, the intended receiver. Plexico Burris, about 12 or 13 yards away from 1,000.
Flag on the play.
Pass interference, 80 offense, 10-yard penalty, still third down.
And Burris looks a little bewildered, Gus. Here's bump and run coverage. You've got to be physical as a wide receiver. You see him use his hands, and right there, that little push. It's one thing to push to get off the line of scrimmage, but when you're breaking it out right there and you push off, the referees are going to usually catch you for that little hand combat. But Plexico Burris has done such a phenomenal job this year of being more physical, using that big body of his to create some separation.
6 feet 5 inches tall. Here's Stewart underneath, deflected, intercepted. Devin Bush returning it up the sideline, and the Browns have now tied a team record, their 32nd interception of the season.
Fourth out of bounds on the return by Oliver Ross.
And Cordell Stewart throws his second pick.
Gus, tip balls, anything can happen. You see big Gerard Warren getting up and getting that ball. Devin Bush right on the spot.
Fazio, the defensive coordinator, in the middle, and what a job his team has done when it comes to smelling out the football. 32 interceptions on the year.
Playing hard, all 4 quarters, very opportunistic, aggressive defense for the Cleveland Browns.
First down and 10 at the 46. Couch looking, pumping, sprints out of the pocket, throws on the run. It's complete. Kevin Johnson with the grab of first down at the 43. Kendrell Bell with the tackle, but it's a gain of 11.
Let's watch Kevin Johnson working on Kendrell Bell. Linebacker dropping in coverage. And you know, it's not going to be too long before you hear Kevin Johnson's name. He's coming all the way across from the other side of the field. This is what happens when your quarterback scrambles and get out of the pocket. Look at the urgency by Kevin Johnson to come all the way across the field, get eye contact with Tim Couch, make the big play, pick up the first down.
2 catches, 28 yards for Kevin Johnson. First and 10 at the 43. And they hand it off to Gay, and Gay maybe a yard and a half. Now tonight on 60 Minutes, while security experts are reasonably certain they can protect the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City from terror attacks, they tell 60 Minutes that they're not too sure they can say the same thing about Athens when the Summer Olympics are held there 2.5 years from now. 60 Minutes tonight. Second down and 8 at the 41. Couch on the pump fake. And Couch is sacked at the 49. Kendrell Bell. Second sack of the day for the Steelers.
And we've talked about the impact that this rookie's had on this defense, and it's so rare to say a rookie's had a huge impact on an outstanding defense. Watch Kendrell Bell and the pressure that he puts on, and watch the shot that Tim Couch takes. Look at the leverage, look at the form tackle by Kendrell Bell. And that was his 8th sack of the season. And he has just been all over the field for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense this year.
And the Steelers are within 2 of the team record. Bell, 6 tackles and a sack already. And Tim Couch calls a timeout. The play clock running out. 5:51 to go in the second quarter. Our game is tied at 7.
Wait.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gateway, where you've got a friend in the business, and by the United States Postal Service.
The snow really coming down now in Pittsburgh. And everybody enjoying this great final week of the NFL season, regular season. 5:51 to go in the second quarter, 3rd and 15 at the 48. Here's Couch looking underneath. It is incomplete. And the Browns will have to punt it away.
Tim Couch looking for Kevin Johnson down the field. Wouldn't have had the first down even if he did complete the ball. This pressure of the Pittsburgh Steelers lines getting more intense as this game rolls along.
Chris Gardocki punting for the 3rd time. Troy Edwards back deep, wobbly kick. And it's fumbled but recovered by the Steelers. Mike Logan picking it up. No flag on the play. A 29-yard punt.
On the recovery from the Steelers.
Now Saturday, CBS Sports hoops it up with doubleheader excitement. First, it's conference crunch time when Georgetown battles Boston College or the Florida Gators tangle with Vanderbilt. Then, the Kansas Jayhawks take on UCLA at Pauley Pavilion. It all begins at 1 Eastern here on CBS.
Hey, you're going to be doing that Georgetown-Boston College game.
Yes, I am.
You know what I'm going to be doing?
You're going to be doing what?
Sitting on my sofa watching the playoff game.
Lucky man.
That's right. I can hardly wait.
99th meeting between these two teams. Last meeting won by the Steelers in overtime. 1st and 10. Cordell Stewart dancing. Stewart in a lot of trouble. Breaks contained. Fires. Hines Ward cradles it at the 25 and crawls ahead to the 29. Vintage Cordell Stewart.
You got that right. And the timing of that route was effective right at the snap when Cordell dropped it. But watch him dance around. Look at that. Little jump over, little hop, elusiveness. And watch Hines Ward get the ball and get up. He knows that he hasn't been touched yet. Gets 3-4 extra yards, gets the big 1st down.
1st down and 10 at the 29. Here comes a blitz. Now the Browns back out of it. Wuamatama Fala tackled for a loss. And guess who? Jameer Miller having an outstanding season. One of the great surprises in the National Football League this year. Young man from Oakland, California, played at UCLA. And we talked to him yesterday, and he told us that he really rededicated himself to coming back, being in great shape, playing for a new coach.
He said he spent time in reflection this offseason and said, hey, what can I do to improve my game? And he came in the best shape of his career. He's focused, works in martial arts. Ruke Kempo is what he told us. That's not sushi there, partner.
No, it's not. 2nd and 11. Here's Wuamatama Fala lowering the shoulder. Stood up by Rudd and driven backwards. But Chris Wuamatama Fala with a gain of 8.
And watch him use that off arm to get under Dwayne Rudd, and that was a huge collision. Let's look at it from ground level. Watch Chris Wuamatama Fala. Watch him get low, deliver the blow. You see him dip and drive up. That's the key. Get under the other player's pads, and when you've got leverage, you're going to move the other guy downfield, and Dwayne Rudd hanging on for dear life and finally bringing him down.
3rd down and 3 at the 36. And Cleveland calls a timeout. They have 1 remaining. 3:30 to go in the second quarter. Our game is tied at 7. Header here on CBS. You'll see 1 of 3 games, all of which have playoff implications. It'll be the New York Jets at Oakland, Buffalo at Miami, or Kansas City at Seattle. It's all coming up next here on CBS. 3rd down 3 at the 36. Here's Cordell out of the shotgun. Underneath and caught at the 45. Bobby Shaw, the great 3rd down receiver here in Pittsburgh, picks up 9.
Bobby Shaw is just going to run a little looky route, little bump and run coverage outside. Cordell Stewart goes back, has his pick. You see the pressure inside, and there comes the shot on the quick slant. And Bobby Shaw made some big catches for this Pittsburgh Steelers team this year.
Out of Cal. First down and 10 at the 44. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Stewart drops it off. Uamatamaufala breaks a tackle and then takes a lick at the 42. Flag on the play, though.
And I think that's going to be holding against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tyrone Rogers in on the play.
Looked like the left side of their line. Might have been Wayne Gandy. I know Jameer Miller was trying to penetrate inside.
And this Cleveland team.
Holding. 64 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
You really have to credit Butch Davis and his entire coaching staff. Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator. Coach Fazio, the defensive coordinator. This team, Brent, has 20 players on the injured list. And they are looking to go 8-8 with a win today.
So significant. And they've had some close games that they could have, or actually should have, come out on the winning end. And they are not that far away from being a playoff team. And look at the rookie coaches this year. And right now, the only coach that has a chance to make the playoffs, Herman Edwards, hanging on for dear life. The Jets have to win to get in today.
Here's Uamatamaufala, and he is tackled at the 37. Jameer Miller coming up and making the tackle after a gain of 3. And if you think about some of the games this Cleveland team lost, that Jacksonville game at Jacksonville a few weeks ago, going into the end zone, or driving toward the end zone. And also the Chicago Bears lost, losing to this Pittsburgh team in overtime. And Cleveland with some bad luck this year, back after this. Coming up next on the Nextel Halftime Report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights, plus a preview of the Jets and Oakland game. That's coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report. Second down, 17 for the Steelers. At the 37, empty backfield. Uamatamaufala splits to the top of your screen as a wide receiver. Here's Stewart looking to the sideline, and Uamatamaufala with the catch at the 41. Corey Fuller knocking him out of bounds.
And Gus, they actually are keeping that clock rolling. He got hit while he was still in bounds. They marked that forward progress, and they're going to keep that clock rolling, keeping him in bounds.
So that makes it third down and 12. They need to go to the 46 for a first down. The Cleveland 46.
And the Steelers really don't look like they're in the hurry-up offense right now. It's going to hinge on this play. If they get the first down, then you'll see them click in the 2-minute drill. But right now, they're just going up the line of scrimmage trying to make something happen.
Using all of the play clock. Here's Stewart, hands it off. Uamatamaufala lowers his shoulder, and he picks up the first down. Whoa! 15-yard gain.
You said it. He lowered his shoulder, and a couple of defensive players for the Cleveland Browns found out.
Steelers call a timeout. They have 2 remaining. A minute to go in the first half. Game tied at 7. Pittsburgh driving. Game tied at 7. A minute to go here in the second quarter of play. Pittsburgh with the football at the 45 of the Browns.
Little trap play there. Watch Chris Uamatamaufala, Gus, when he makes first contact right here with Earl. He's about 4 yards short of that first down. Keeps driving through. You talked about delivering a blow and moving that pile.
First and 10. Here's Stewart looking, and he's sacked at the 45. Warren coming up and making the tackle. First sack of the day for the Browns.
And we've talked about the impact Kendrell Bell has had on the defense for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. What about Gerard Warren and his impact for this Cleveland Brown defense? Big number 94, just controlling the middle of the defensive line this year for the Cleveland Browns. And you see the big man getting a sack right there, moving the pile back. That's what he does.
Second and 20. Stewart firing to the sideline, incomplete, throwing that one over the head of Edwards. 35 seconds to go here in the first half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it's the Nextel Halftime Report with Jim Nance, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores and highlights. Plus, a preview of the New York Jets and the Oakland game. For the Jets, if they win, they are in the playoffs. And it's also an important game for the Raiders.
Raiders trying to get a home field playoff game, and so one of the few games that actually means something in the National Football League today.
Third down and a long 20. At the 45, the first down marker is at the Cleveland 35. Here's Cordell. Loads up down the sideline. Incomplete. Cordell Stewart going for the home run. Hines Ward there. Also Plexico Burris.
And watch, usually when you get this Big Ben play, Gus, you try to tip it up. The first guy tries to tip it up. Hines Ward almost catches it. Corey Fuller, you see, tips it once, then comes over the top with his right arm, looking like a volleyball player, smacking it out of there. Hines Ward almost made that thing.
Josh Miller in the punt, his second punt of the game. Kevin Johnson back deep at the 10. Miller getting it away. Johnson gets away from the football. It bounces out of bounds at the 15. A 40-yard punt, no return. So with 16 seconds remaining, Tim Couch comes onto the field.
In not great field position. I think they're probably just going to fall on the ball, get into halftime, try to get some hot chocolate, get your hands warm, and be ready to come back out in the second half. Well, I guess we might not see Cordell Stewart in the second half.
Take a look at the quarterback comparison.
And you see the 2 interceptions there for Cordell. Remember, one of those was right through the hands of Plexico Burris. The other was a tip ball misdirected in the air, so not necessarily Cordell Stewart's fault, either one of those.
Couch takes a seat. And that will take us to the halftime mark. Our score tied at 7 apiece. And that's the end of the first half. Once again, Pittsburgh and Cleveland tied at 7. Coming up, it's the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.
Can a single father raise a family?
You were the most important thing in the world to me.
Can a teacher change a student's life?
You're a serious, meticulous scholar.
Hey, come on. How many times have I introduced you this year?
Once.
Just once. Yeah. That's all it took. How about the Steelers here? 7-7.
Well, I mean, Gus and Brent are having a blast doing this game. So are the players out there on the field. Ma'afala running the ball well. Pittsburgh's doing everything on offense, except Cordell Stewart now has 6 interceptions in the last 4 quarters plus. Since halftime last week, 6 interceptions. We talked about the pass rush in the pregame. Is that what we're on? Pregame show?
It's called the NFL.
NFL today.
You're still doing the preseason.
Wow.
Meanwhile, here at halftime, what's going on?
Game tied at 7. Halftime here in Pittsburgh. The Browns and Steelers. Hi, everybody. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones, and our score is tied at 7, but a lot going on in the National Football League. Teams fighting for that playoff position or maybe the last spot into the playoffs.
Yeah,
so let's take a look.
A lot of excitement today. On the NFC side, of course, St. Louis leading the way. The big battle, Chicago, Green Bay. Who's going to win that division? Of course, right now, Chicago's ahead of Jacksonville. Green Bay still ahead of the Giants. And that's significant because San Francisco would have to go to Green Bay.
So who do you like?
You know who I like.
The Rams.
Of course.
You don't like the 49ers?
I like them, but I don't like them to win.
All right. Now let's take a look at the AFC. Some big games being played. One coming up later on CBS. The Jets at Oakland. Also Seattle trying to keep their playoff hopes alive today with the win, and they need some help. So who do you like in the AFC?
I think New England will end up coming to Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship. And the team that I've been touting for a while now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
So let's take a look at Tommy Maddox. He is the quarterback that most likely will be going in to the game for the Steelers in the second half of play. Was the MVP of the XFL in its only season.
And that experience got him into the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp where he ended up beating out Kent Graham and won that backup spot. And Bill Cowher was just raving about him here yesterday when we talked to him.
Okay, let's take a look at the statistics from the first half of play. Brent, take us through them.
And, you know, of course, the Steelers had more yards. That's significant. But this is what the Steelers do. They control the clock. That's what they want to do. This is what the Browns do. They get points off turnovers, interceptions, a couple in the first half. Very opportunistic defense. And so these two teams have played the way they mostly have played this whole season.
Let me ask you a question, hypothetically. If the Steelers were to meet the Rams, just say in the Super Bowl, with all that offensive firepower on the Rams side, how does this Pittsburgh team beat them? How do you think they would fare?
Well, they're going to be very physical on the offensive side of the ball. Run, 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 and get Cordell out of the pocket. And obviously they got the big wide receivers. But I think defensively, it's all about pressure. It's all about getting somebody in Kurt Warner's face. Of course, a lot of teams have tried to blitz him and put pressure on him. But I think with the Rams going up against a 3-4 defense, remember, there's only two teams in the league that play that style. The Patriots and the Steelers. The Rams won't be used to seeing that. And so, of course, Bill Cowher's going to have some things ready to go. Tim Lewis, the defensive coordinator, is going to have some things ready to go if and when they get to that point. And I think pressure on Kurt Warner and get him some shots and hit him around and be physical with the wide receivers gives the Steelers a clear chance.
And we're not awarding a trip to the Super Bowl for the Steelers already as the kickoff is fumbled by Gay. Now he gets it and fumbles it again. It's picked up. Edwards toward the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Wow.
And Gus Bengay just going to keep trying through second effort, and when he spins around, he actually gets a helmet right on the ball. Troy Edwards is there to pick up the ball and hustle down the sideline for the big touchdown.
So Bengay gets a lecture from his head coach as the Steelers take a 7-point lead. A 32-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Troy Edwards. And here at the beginning of the second half, the Steelers take a 14-7 lead. And welcome back. Steelers send it away, and it's returned to the 40-yard line. Andre King returning it this time, a 25-yard return. So Tim Couch comes back onto the field. When he left the field at the end of the first half, the game was tied at 7. Now he has a 7-point deficit that he has to overcome, and the ball sitting at his own 41. First down and 10 for Tim Couch. 4 of 8, 55 yards in the first half. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Jamel White over the right side, and White hops forward. No gain on the play.
And Gus, let's go back to that fumble. And watch when Bengay, sometimes when you spin around and you have that second effort, when you spin around, you lose vision. Watch that. He doesn't get his eyes upfield. Here comes Lindsey Jackson, 83. Helmet right on the ball. It was almost as if Bengay didn't even see him, and sometimes that helmet hits the ball, and there's no way you can hang on. And Troy Edwards looking for that easy touchdown. Got it.
Second down, 10 at the 41. White over the left side. And White is chopped down at the 42. John Fiala making the tackle, but a flag on the play.
And I think they're going to call hold on the Cleveland Browns, the left side. I saw Kendrell Bell go down.
So if you're Butch Davis, as you head into the offseason.
Holding, 48 offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
As you head into the offseason, what are some of the positions that you kind of want to upgrade?
Well, I think definitely your focus has to be on the offensive side of the ball. Tim Couch needs a few more weapons. You know how much I like Kevin Johnson. We've talked about him all year. We've talked about Tim Couch as well, and how accurate he is in the leadership qualities that he displays and the toughness in the pocket. But he's got to stop being the tough guy in the pocket. He's got to have a little bit more protection. So offensive line's #1 spot you got to look at. Then maybe after that, maybe a significant name running back, maybe in free agency, you try to acquire one.
Second down, 20 at the 31, over the middle. caught and advanced to the 40.
Couch's pass is complete to 84.
Andre King with the reception, tackled on the play by Myron Bell. So you're saying a tailback and also some offensive line help for Tim Couch.
And you know what? Maybe some help at wide receiver. And I really like Andre King. He's come on strong the last 3 or 4 weeks. Have made some big catches, yards after the catch with the ball in his hands. But they're going to have something other than Kevin Johnson in their arsenal to be able to take defenses away from flooding Kevin Johnson's side of the field.
3rd down and 10 at the 41. Here's Couch again. Throws over the middle, incomplete. Andre King, the intended receiver, all tipped in the air. Mike Jones there defensively.
You know, the other thing about the Browns, and we're talking about off-season help and what they can do, and obviously through the draft, but they're very well positioned under the cap. They can spend some dollars. And Butch Davis, I know it's nice to have some bullets in your holster. He's getting ready to go ahead and take some shots, I'm sure, at a couple of significant free agents.
4th punt for Gardocki, who stands at the 26. Low, wobbly kick. Fielded at the 21 by Edwards. Troy Edwards looking for a crease, finds nothing, and is taken down at the 22-yard line. Wally Rayner with the special teams tackle, and we'll find out if it's Cordell or Tommy Maddox after this.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Goodyear, reminding you to take all of your journeys on the wings of Goodyear. Circuit City, we know how you feel, that's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Welcome back. Cordell Stewart has been called off the field, and the fans cheer him on as Tommy Maddox replaces him. And Maddox takes over 1st and 10 at his own 22. Womatama follow over the right side. Gets to the 22-yard line. So the book on Tommy Maddox, as I mentioned, was 9-3 as the starting quarterback for the LA Extreme of the XFL, was the MVP. Take a look at his career numbers.
And I had a chance to talk to him on the field before the game. He said, hey, I just wanted a chance. And I told a lot of teams, just bring me into camp and I'll make the team. And by playing in the XFL, got a chance to get a look here with the Steelers and beat out Kent Graham, and here he is.
Laid with the Rams, Denver, and the Giants. Maddox in trouble, goes down. Tyrone Rogers with the tackle and the sack. 2nd sack of the day for the Browns. So Cordell Stewart leaves the game 8 of 16, 72 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Had a good
loss of 4
rushing day as Stewart rushed 4 times for 38 yards to go over the 500-yard mark on the season.
And like we said, a couple of those interceptions not necessarily his fault. One right through Plexico Burris's hands, and the other
a tip ball at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, 14 at the 18. They need to go to the 32 for 1st down. Maddox steps up in the pocket, loses the ball, fumbles it out of bounds at the 35, at the 25. A 7-yard run.
And you know, the Steelers still have
both their starting wide receivers in the game. Both those guys trying to go over 1,000 yards. Tommy Maddox with a little pump fake, and he's going to go ahead and get contact, but got to secure that ball. You can't carry it like a loaf of bread, especially when it's cold out there. That ball gets so darn hard and slippery. And Tommy Maddox obviously getting out of the pocket and trying to make some things happen with his legs.
Josh Miller standing at the 11. Kevin Johnson back deep at the 30. A beautiful spiraling kick by Miller. Johnson will start from the 23. And Kevin Johnson is chopped down at the 35. A 51-yard punt, a 12-yard return. Mike Logan with the tackle. So the receivers on the Steelers still looking for 1,000. Plexico and Hines. Back in a moment. A lot of insulation on the bench on the Cleveland Browns sideline. Stay warm right there.
You said it.
1st down and 10 at the 35. Couch. And it's incomplete. Dwayne Washington coming up and making a nice play. Quincy Morgan, the intended receiver.
Coverage by Dwayne Washington.
Now Thursday on Survivor. This is it. The final episode. Find out who will be voted the ultimate survivor in the dramatic 2-hour finale. Then stay tuned for a live reunion featuring all 16 survivors. It all begins at 8, 7 Central, Thursday here on CBS. Second down 10 at the 35. Couch to pass. This one is caught.
Couch's pass is complete to
Kevin Johnson with the reception, a gain of 8. Dwayne Washington there defensively again.
Tim Couch, when he has time, very accurate with the ball. We've said that. Of course, his favorite receiver being Kevin Johnson.
And the Browns doing a good job this season. The management extending or picking up an option on Tim Couch's contract that pays him close to $9 million, and it will keep him for 4 more years, 4 additional years in Cleveland.
And we've been around the league and looked at the quarterbacks, and I think that's one heck of a decision for Cleveland.
Here's Tim, underneath, incomplete. Mike Jones there defensively, intended for Kevin Johnson, and the Browns are forced to punt it away.
Kevin Johnson incomplete. Coverage on the play by 51, Mike Jones.
And we're starting to see some substitutions for the Steelers. A few of the starters out of the game, and I think we'll continue to see that here through the second half. Obviously, you can't get a guy hurt in a meaningless game when you've got home field advantage for the playoffs, and the Browns still very into this game, want to finish 8-8.
Edwards back deep, gets away from the football. It bounces and is downed at the 20, a 37-yard punt. So Tommy Maddox will get his second opportunity to lead the Steeler offense after this.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Cellular One. When you need a cell phone, Cellular One is here.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh, and Mr. Rooney must be very pleased with the way his team has performed this season.
Yeah, he has done a fantastic job of overseeing this team. And Gus, I had, on the most exciting day of my life, had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Rooney. He actually called me and welcomed me to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 1986 draft.
That's right. You were drafted by the Steelers.
And they were smart enough to know that I probably wasn't going to block anybody, so they let me go.
As a matter of fact, your father was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, darn right he was.
Tommy Maddox throwing it to the sideline. Hines Ward with the reception.
Maddox's pass is complete to Hines Ward. Gain of 7 on the play.
Now, following the game and throughout the week, log on to NFL.com and get the latest playoff schedule and analysis from the experts. It's all at NFL.com or America Online, keyword NFL.com. And Hines Ward has now gone over 1,000 yards. Plexico Burress is next. Hines Ward, 94 catches, over 1,000 yards. Burress needs 16 yards to go over 1,000. And a flag on the play.
Delay a game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And Gus, if I'm Bill Cowher, I don't know how much longer I keep Hines in the game, and I definitely want to get Plexico over that 1,000-yard mark, and we saw Hines Ward go ahead and get his 1,000 yards, run a little slant route. And that wasn't it right there.
Well, he was fast. He got it. I didn't even see the ball.
Wow. That was a big catch.
Second down and 8 from the 22. Here's Maddox looking, firing, and Burress has it at the 40. Goes ahead of the 46, and it's a gain of 25, and now Plexico Burress is over 1,000 yards.
And you know what, Gus? I bet Plexico Burress catches this ball.
Yes,
right
he
here.
does.
On this replay.
We have Plexico.
There you go. Look, there's the ball in his hands. Getting upfield, getting those extra yards. It puts him over 1,000. And if I'm Bill Cowher right now, I think I go ahead and take out both my starting wide receivers.
because there's nothing else to go for.
1st and 10 at the 46. Chris Fuamatamaufala. And he plows ahead to midfield. So let's take a look. For the first time in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the great franchises in this league, they have 2 receivers over 1,000 yards.
And that's so fantastic. And just to think, I remember reading about that this last week. I thought, oh, of course, Lynn Swan and John Stallworth, and they never did it.
So there they are, the young guns of Pittsburgh. 2nd down and 6 from midfield. Now Chris Fuamatamaufala running to the 48. Now let's go to New York for an update. Here's Jim Nance.
All right, Gus and Brent again. The Bears with the win claim the NFC Central. Brunell here, picked off by the big man, Keith Traylor. Watch him rumble. Watch him go. Eventually, he's going to be looking for a little help here to give it up. There's no one there. Will he make it all the way? No. McCardell drags him down. It sets up a Miller to David Terrell touchdown. 20-0 Bears. Let's go back to Gus and Brett.
That was awesome.
Have you ever seen 400 pounds move so fast? Jiminy Christmas.
Woo! That's the fridge, too. Here's Fuamatamaufala turning it on.
And Chris Fuamatamaufala
down inside the 25. A 24-yard run.
And Fuamatamaufala is a little slow getting up, Gus. Might have taken a shot on the knee. And you know, when he gets outside, he reminds me of the bus so much in the fact that he looks for contact. Watch this next move. He's going to cut outside to the sideline. No, I'm going to go right for contact. I'm running right at Corey Fuller, smack him back about 5 or 6 yards. Just an impressive young man. And we talked about how much he and the bus are alike. Actually, Fuamatamaufala wore number 6 at Utah.
Comes out of the game. Maddox on the slant. It's picked off. And we have Anthony Henry, his 10th interception of the season. And that breaks, or sets rather, a new club record. 10th interception of the season actually ties Tom Darton from the Browns back in 1978. So he ties the record.
One blustery autumn Sunday, 2 warriors hunkered down in the fury of battle.
For the win. Interception.
With one crushing blow, momentum turned. As the stalwart Viking mounted a final aerial assault, the battered warrior could only watch his hopes of victory vanish. And in defeat, learned dignity and grace.
NFL 2K2. Rated E for everyone.
Attention, attention everybody. The Home Depot is driving down the cost of home improvement. We are taking
10th interception of the season, and the Pittsburgh Steelers allowing the Browns to take over at their own 15. Here's the handoff. And it's White running forward, stopped on the play by Myron Bell. And this kid, Anthony Henry, a rookie out of South Florida, Brenny really has a nose for the football.
He does, Gus. Watch when they're late break in the huddle here. He's going to come out on Plexico Burris, take one look at Burris, thinks to himself, hey, it's a slant route. He just glances at him. Watch him drive after he looks. Drives right into that slant lane and intercepts the ball. And this young man has been so impressive this year. He told us, hey, when I came in this year, I thought I was going to be a contributor on special teams. With injuries in the secondary, got a chance to play. 10 interceptions. What a season.
2nd down, 8 at the 17. Couch in trouble, gets it off. And getting back to Anthony Henry, his mom is a housekeeper in Florida, and she's coming off major surgery. 2 weeks ago, they thought that she may have had cancer in her throat. She was fine, but however, Anthony told us that she didn't tell him, and that really bothered him, but she didn't want to worry him.
3rd down and 8 at the 17.
So Anthony having just a tremendous season.
Clearly up
interceptions.
Clearly up for one of the Defensive Rookie of the Year awards, along with Kendrell Bell from the Steelers. It's going to come down to, I think, one of those 2 guys.
Over the middle, this one caught. Juwan Dawson turns it up. Dawson still running and is crunched at the 35. Essie Mae Robinson, the mom of Anthony Henry. We are wishing her a full recovery. And a speedy one, too. A 19-yard gain.
And Gus, one of the differences of the Browns the last couple weeks, yards after the catch. Watch Juwan Dawson turn inside, fake inside, and go out and make some significant yards. And here's a guy that's come on the last couple weeks as well. These receivers for the Browns starting to make something happen. And that's really been a key to their offensive prowess the last couple weeks, especially putting up that 41 last week against Tennessee.
First down and 10 at the 36. Handoff, White over the right side. And White knocked out a bounce, flag on the play.
White ball carrier, stopped by Kendrell Bell and Deshae Townsend.
He will go against Cleveland.
Holding, 48 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Monroe, Rod Monroe, called for holding. So they march it back, and the Browns now have the football at their own 27.
First and 20.
So a first down and a long 20 for Cleveland at the 26.
How about a little Jamel White catching the ball out of the backfield? Haven't seen that as much today.
Some movement on the right side.
Ball
Roger
start,
Chouinois.
69 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And we talked about Anthony Henry and how he has 10 interceptions. Kendrell Bell having an outstanding season. He has 8 sacks. Gerard Warren also having a sensational season. Who's going to be the defensive rookie of the year?
Well, we got to move this one to 10, and I think Anthony Henry, as significant as the year as it's been, Kendrell Bell has been a starter the whole time for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. And of course, with the success they've had going into the playoffs, he'll probably get the nod.
Here's Bell shooting through it, coming up with the sack right on cue.
He's listening to us, and that's our pick. And you don't want to take away from what Anthony Henry's done, but Kendrell Bell coming into the strength of the defense, the linebacking spot. We've talked about him blitzing more. Look at that. If you're Tim Couch, you're saying, hey, is anybody going to block this guy? And the speed at which he explodes through there and times it up. Look at that shot. And that's a big man coming in to tackle you.
Kendrell Bell.
And how about the alternate for the Pro Bowl, the first alternate? We talked about Zach Thomas from the Dolphins being banged up and maybe not going to the game. That'd be great for this young man to be able to go to Hawaii.
And this crowd is into the game. As Jamel White runs it over the right side, tackled by Justin Krupakis. Makes it third down and 38 from the 7 as Bell trots off the field. Young man from Augusta, Georgia. A sensational scene here in Pittsburgh. Tim Couch over the middle, incomplete. Quincy Morgan let that ball go right through his hand.
And I think the Steelers have come out today and accomplished what they've wanted to accomplish. They've been solid on defense other than early on in the game, the first drive or two. They've come back on offense. They've moved the ball. They've had their power running game going. They've got their receivers over 1,000 yards. Cordell ran the ball out of the pocket. And they've kept everybody healthy, and that was goal number 1.
Gardocki, spiraling punt. Edwards backpedals at the 45 and is tackled and slammed to the ground by Henry. Anthony Henry on special teams. A 45-yard punt. Now, tonight on the CBS Sunday Movie, when it comes to being a master thief, it takes one to catch one. Ving Rhames, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the great Sean Connery star in the network premiere of Entrapment tonight on CBS. .2:29 to play in the third quarter. Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones. Pittsburgh faced with a first down and 10 at their own 44, and they hand it off. R.J. Bowers running the ball over the right side. And here is an update on Chris Fuamata-Ma'afala. He has a groin injury, and his return is questionable. Remember, Jerome Bettis also has a groin injury that's forced him to miss 5 straight games.
Well, we say they do everything together, and they look awful similar, so that's one area where you don't want to copy. And the injury. But what a great display of power running today for Chris Fuamata-Ma'afala. And hopefully you can have some time to get that groin healthy.
2nd and 6 at the 48. Here's the pitch to Bowers. With all kinds of running room to the 40. Let's quickly, though, head to New York and check in with Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, guys. And again, New England with a win claims the AFC East. This is Troy Brown with a 7-point lead. He breaks it open a little bit for the Patriots. 68-yard punt return. He had set earlier in this game the New England single-season reception mark. He did not get voted to the Pro Bowl. Panthers have just kicked the field goal, but it's 17-6 New England. And let's go back to Pittsburgh.
All right, what a season for Troy Brown.
And Jim mentioned he didn't get voted to the Pro Bowl. That's a tough place to make it at wide receiver. Troy Brown, of course, Heinz Ward with all those catches and going over 1,000 yards didn't make it as well.
Over the middle, Edwards, the intended receiver, incomplete.
Pass intended for Edwards, incomplete.
So New England,
by Corey Fuller.
with the win today, they will clinch the AFC East.
Down and 10 at the Browns 40.
And host the playoff game. The Jets need to win at Oakland today to get into the playoffs.
And that would give New England that home playoff game. So Foxborough Stadium would live to see another day.
Yes.
Don't blow it up yet.
2nd down 10 at the 40. Play action. Maddox setting up, looking for a screen. It's caught. Bowers over the right side. He's chopped down at the 40.
Bowers on the pass from Maddox.
Gerard Warren coming up and making the play. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the AFC Central standings. Pittsburgh is won it going away. Baltimore can get in if they defeat Minnesota tomorrow night, on Monday night. Cleveland looking to improve to 8-8.
Now, if the Jets and Seattle win, Baltimore actually has to win tomorrow night. That'd be a lot of pressure, except you're going against the Vikings, and how about all the disarray in Minnesota? Is that unbelievable?
They fired their head coach, Dennis Green, with 1 game remaining. Maddox again over the middle, caught by Bobby Shaw, breaks the tackle, keeps his feet moving, looking to get to the outside, does, down the sideline, touchdown Pittsburgh. A 40-yard touchdown, and they're on their feet in the Steel City.
And Gus, he's not going to get a lot of credit, but wide receiver Lindsey Jackson does a great job of peeling back and giving Bobby Shaw lane outside after Shaw catches that ball over the middle, does a little dance, very elusive, and has made some big plays this year, and that's been a hallmark of this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Different players stepping up at different times all year with big plays.
Bill Cowher will take it. The extra point is up and good. Bobby Shaw with the touchdown, and the Steelers take a 21-7 lead. 2nd receiving touchdown of the year for Bobby Shaw.
And Bobby Shaw is just going to catch a little spot route over the middle of the field. Watch the shake and bake. Little stop and start. Bang. Dalen McCutcheon slides right by him. Then he gets outside. Watch Lindsey Jackson peel back. That block right there on Corey Fuller allows Bobby Shaw to get into the end zone. Watch the right part of your screen. There's the block. Lindsey Jackson on Corey Fuller, giving Bobby Shaw that lane down the sideline. Tommy Maddox throwing a touchdown pass. It's got to feel good. Maybe a little better than the Arena League and the XFL, you think?
First touchdown pass of the season. So the drive, 5 plays covering 56 yards. They do it in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Brown sends it away. Andre King inside his own 20. Stood up and taken down at the 31. Matt Cushing with the tackle on special teams, a 14-yard return, and that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Steelers 21, the Browns 7. We'll return to Heinz Field right after this word from your local station.
Doug falls for another woman's cooking.
It's like you're
21-7 the score. The Steelers scoring 14 points in the third quarter of play. Troy Edwards picked up the opening kickoff as it was fumbled by Ben Gay and returned it for a touchdown. Now Bobby Shaw with a 40-yard touchdown reception. Here's Tim Couch looking. Couch over the middle is caught close to midfield. Kevin Johnson with the reception, a 17-yard gain.
And when it's crunch time for the Browns, it's KJ time.
And let's take a look at the scoring drive. 5 plays, 56 yards. And now Kevin Johnson with that reception has the second best receiving year of any other Brown in the history of the organization. Needed 51 yards. He's behind Webster Slaughter. He has 53 yards receiving now. And Ben Gay nowhere to go. Brent Alexander shooting the gap and coming up with the tackle. Don't forget, game 2 of our doubleheader is coming up. The big game, the Jets at Oakland. Others will see Buffalo at Miami or Kansas City and Seattle. All those games with playoff implications.
Boy, I'm anxious to see how the Jets attack the Raiders. Raiders have had trouble with power running teams this year, and obviously the Jets offense has been stalled as of late in December. Fortunately, it's not December anymore for the Jets.
Second down, 13 at the 46. Play action, Couch again, setting up in the pocket over the middle. Caught by Kevin Johnson. He takes a licking. And Johnson down at the 37, a 17-yard gain.
Kevin Johnson never ceases to amaze me. Every defense knows that he's the main guy. He's the main weapon. So everybody doubles and triples him. He finds a way to get open, finds the hole, does a great job hanging on the ball. Look at the shots he takes over the middle. You talk about an impressive season, an impressive 3 season for this young man out of Syracuse.
Second round pick. The only Brown to have started all 48 of the club's games since they returned to the NFL. Flag on the play. And it goes against Pittsburgh.
Offside, 96 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's Kevin Johnson. Tough little player out of Syracuse.
And you talk about an impact. We talked about his first 3 seasons. Look at the company he's keeping.
Yes.
On top of the ladder there, too.
Now 206. First down and 5 at the 31. Here's the handoff. Gay running it straight ahead. Gets close to the 25. And an injury for the Browns. Jamel White has a laceration on his arm. His return is questionable.
And we had talked about Troy Brown and Hines Ward not making the Pro Bowl wide receiver. But what about Kevin Johnson?
Yes.
Any one of those guys gets in, I wouldn't bat an eye. And that's a tough position to make because there's so many talented wide receivers in the National Football League. They only take 4 for the Pro Bowl.
First down and 10 at the 26. Play action, Couch looking for Morgan in the corner. Incomplete. Unable to keep both feet in bounds.
Pass intended for 81, Quincy Morgan, incomplete. Coverage by Alexander. Second down.
And here's the end of the play. Quincy Morgan trying to drag that right back foot, but his left foot didn't come down. And watch this route that Quincy Morgan runs. Watch the inside fake. He's going to come in here, go to the post, and go back out to the corner. Turns the corner's shoulders. Nice route. Tim Couch putting the ball almost on the money, just a half step out of bounds. That was a nice route by Quincy Morgan.
Second down and 10 at the 26. Couch again. Fires. Incomplete. Andre King, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up third down and 10. Brent Alexander covering.
And Tim Couch, I think, thought Andre King was going to stay up a little higher. You see the fake to the left side. Going to keep his rat a little higher. He throws the ball up there, thought he had his man beat. And you see Tim Couch's reaction. Stay up high. Keep it up high. That's what happens when you have so many young receivers. But Andre King has been a guy that's made some things happen for this Browns receiving unit.
3rd down 10. Couch again. Underneath, Johnson with the grab, and Johnson dives forward. It'll be close.
And I think he's going to be about a half-yard short, Gus. Maybe even a full yard. But 4th down, you're down. Last game of the season. You got to go for it right here. I'm sure that Bruce Arians and Butch Davis, the head coach, won't have any qualms about going for it here if it's 4th down.
Kevin Johnson with 1,097 yards receiving on the season. 2nd best all-time yardage mark for the Browns. Webster Slaughter had a 1,236-yard season back in 1989.
And you know what's amazing about Kevin Johnson? He's the only Brown to start all 47 games since 1999. Today. That's just so significant, and you're great point. But, I mean, he takes a beating over the middle, not afraid to go across the middle. Big-time hands, big-time player.
And think about this. Johnson passed Paul Warfield to become 2nd all-time in that yardage mark for a single season.
His name is up there with some
pretty good players.
Some big-time guys, as we say in California.
So we have 4th down and 1. Johnson on the sideline. The Browns electing to go for it.
Now's the time, Gus, to use that play action. Steelers are going to be expecting run inside. They've got some big boys in there to collapse that inside.
Here's Couch. Fires in the corner. Picked off. Townsend with the interception. Deshae Townsend picks it off. The ball hanging in the air. And the Browns turn it over. Deshae Townsend with the interception. And the Steelers force a turnover with the 21-7 lead.
And I really like that call, play action on 4th and 1. Very aggressive play calling, Bruce Arians, but I think Santiago was open initially. That ball just hung up there a little bit.
And Tim Couch, I'm sure he wishes that he could have that one back. 1st and 10 at the 12. Bowers breaking tackles, gets to the 25. A gain of 11. Let's go back to the interception. O.J. Santiago was open.
And watch Santiago right here coming out. Play action. Watch him get the beat to the corners. Got 3 or 4 yard step on Townsend. That's what play action does. It sucks up the linebackers and the safeties. Look at how wide open he is right here. You got to put it a little bit more on a line. And that ball, Tim Couch actually just lofts it up a little bit, giving Townsend time to recover and step in there. You know, one of the things that Tim Couch might not have accounted for is snow's coming down. It deadens the ball a little bit, actually allows the ball to hang up a little bit more.
1st down 10 at the 24. Tommy Maddox throwing out of the backfield.
Maddox's pass is complete to 48.
Matt Cushing, the tight end, with the reception. Tight end / H-back. It's a 5-yard pickup.
And speaking of tight ends, how about offensive coordinator Mike Mularkey for this Pittsburgh Steelers team this year? How impressive has he been? And you know what? I love it when a tight end does so well.
Yeah. There's Coach Mularkey.
Yeah, you can barely see him. It's snowing so darn much. But he's right there in the middle.
He's a former tight end.
And what did I always tell you about tight ends?
Yeah.
We'll get back to it.
Whatever.
No.
2nd down.
We're coming back to it.
At the 29. Bowers again. Dives forward, gets to the 35.
I want to know if you've listened to me this year.
Okay.
Other than quarterback.
We got flags on the play. Hold on.
All right.
McCutcheon on the tackle.
Personal foul against Cleveland.
No fall, unnecessary roughness. 78 of the defense, 15 yards, 1st down.
Tyrone Rogers.
You know, there's definitely a rivalry here. These two teams don't necessarily like each other. So close in proximity.
Tyrone Rogers taking his shot.
And here's Tyrone Rogers, number 78, right there in the middle. Turns around and takes a shot. Bang, right there.
First down at the 49. Maddox setting up deep in the pocket, delivers a strike. Edwards with the catch on a beautifully thrown ball by Tommy Maddox. It's a gain of 21. Wow, nice looking pass.
And Troy Edwards has been a guy that's really contributed this year. Situational. Watch him run from the outside right here. Get some depth and come across the middle. Find that hole in the zone. Sit down prior to coming into the coverage. Make some things happen with the ball once you get it in your hands. And how about that strike that Maddox delivered?
6 of 8, 97 yards, a touchdown and an interception. First down at the Cleveland 30. Draw play, Bowers. Stutter step through the hole, and he is tackled at the 27.
Tackled by 74.
CBS Sports NFL playoff coverage begins next Sunday with the AFC wildcard game. The action starts with Jim Nantz and company on the NFL Today at 3:30 Eastern Time. And the kick is at 4:05 next Sunday here on CBS. We don't know what game it is, but we know we're going to have one. Second down 6 at the 26. Bowers again. Searching, is decked at the 21. Earl Little with the tackle after a gain of 5.
And you thought we were going to get away from that tight end comment, but I'm bringing it back to you.
Okay,
Other than quarterback, the tight end has to know about the receiving, the passing game, coverages, defensive fronts, and the running game.
The same with the fronts and the way the blocking scheme comes together. That's why Mike Mularkey
has done such a great job this year. He knows the whole picture.
Comes together. He's going to be a head coach in this league someday. You know, there's another tight end that's a head coach in the league. You know who it is?
Who is it?
Brian Billick, a great coach. And if you don't know, just ask him.
That's 1 from 21. Bowers spinning ahead. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
R.J. Bowers in the afternoon he's had here in about a quarter. He's running with some authority.
How about that speed running right by the linebackers for the Cleveland Browns? First career touchdown.
That's going to feel good. Hang on to that ball, R.J.
Bowers with the touchdown. The extra point is up and good, and the Steelers with a 28-7 lead. Chris Fuamata-Mafala on the sideline. And Pittsburgh, they're just reloading.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's Super Value Menu. The best 99 cents you can spend. The Home Depot, driving down the cost of home improvement. And by Nextel. Nextel, how business gets done.
7:31 to play here in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers have taken a 28-7 lead, and that's R.J. Bowers being hugged by Jerome Bettis coming off the field. Andre King inside his own 5. Out of bounds at the 22. So Bowers was signed to the Steelers' active roster from the team's practice squad back in December, and Bill Cowher says, good job, young man. Good job, Pittsburgh. What a day and what a career for R.J. Bowers. Gets his first career touchdown. He's a former professional baseball player in the Houston Astros organization. Played Division III football at Grove City College, about an hour north of here. Couch to the sideline. Picked off again. I believe Deshae Townsend, yes. Second interception of the day for Deshae. Second of his career as well. Now we'll take a timeout. Pittsburgh pouring it on now. 7:14 to play in the fourth.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by CarQuest Auto Parts. You'll find it at CarQuest. And by Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business at great low prices.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. 7:14 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers have a 28-7 lead over the Browns. Browns have struggled here in the second half. Things kind of falling apart for them. First down and 10. R.J. Bowers again over the right side, keeps his feet moving and gets to the 45. Now here's a question for you, Brent. Who would you pick as this year's NFL MVP? Marshall Faulk, Brett Favre, Rich Gannon, Jeff Garcia, Cordell Stewart, or Kurt Warner? You just log on and cast your vote at NFL.com.
You know how much I like Cordell?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kurt Warner.
No, you're totally off the mark there.
And you're going to say Marshall
Faulk.
You know why Marshall Faulk has so much room to run? Because everybody's worried about the Rams passing game. You could gain 100 yards in the Rams offense.
Second down and 7 at the 45. And here's Bowers again. Gets to the 41. Now let's go to Jim Nantz. He has an update. New England, Carolina. Jim.
All right, it's going to be the Patriots' day. It's going to be their division, the AFC East. Antoine Smith, a big reason why all season long. 32-yard touchdown run, and they've just added a touchdown pass from Brady to Jermaine Wiggins, up 31-6 in the fourth. Let's go back to you. Got some bread.
Wow, what a great season for the Patriots. What a sad one for the Panthers. That's the worst team in probably professional football. They have just not shown up since week 1.
And they beat the Minnesota Vikings. Third down and 3 at the 41. This time it's Whitman. Whitman running over the left side. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture, and that win will give New England a home game either next week or or in 2 weeks. They may get a bye as they will clinch the AFC East.
And that's what they're playing for, that big bye. And the Raiders game coming up this afternoon against the Jets. But New England, what a season for them. And
I'm going to have to say Bill Belichick, Coach of the Year. I think that just came out of the blue. Obviously, Bill Cowher competing for that award. But the Patriots have been in disarray the last couple of years. And Bill Belichick really changed that attitude, turned that team around with the help of young Tom Brady.
High spiraling kick. And they allow it to go into the end zone, Troy Edwards. So they will spot it at the 20.
First and 10, putting the ball at the 20.
Don't forget, coming up, it's 60 Minutes tonight. Followed by Richard Dreyfuss in The Education of Max Bickford. And then Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery star in the network premiere of Entrapment tonight on CBS. Okay, I'm going to disagree with you on 2 points here. You ready? Brent, are you ready? I'm going to disagree with you on 2 points.
Okay, I know what you're going to say.
There's no way Bill Cowher shouldn't be selected as the Coach of the Year. All right?
Okay.
And 2, Marshall Faulk has 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. He's the MVP. As Cleveland runs the ball up to the 25.
You sound like you're angry.
Yeah, I am angry.
Are you angry?
Yes, I'm angry.
You're tired of carrying me all
I'm tired
year.
of hearing about tight ends. I'm tired of hearing about quarterbacks and the West Coast offense or the 49ers offense. I like the down and dirty guys, the guys that'll run it right at you like Bill Cowher.
You don't get down and dirty running if you have 2 wide receivers over 1,000 yards.
And you have the bus and Chris Fuamata-Mafala.
That was pretty good saying that quick.
Second and 4 at the 26. Here's Couch. Swings it out, caught by his tight end.
Couch's pass is complete to...
And that's Moreland with the reception. A gain of 6. And the Cleveland Browns, they have nothing to hang their heads for this year. A very, very positive season for Cleveland. You know, a couple of games would have maybe allowed this team to make it into the playoffs. And they've been injured the entire year.
And Coach Davis told us, win or lose, it's been a very successful year, a great building block for next season. It's going to be a big offseason for this Cleveland Browns team.
Here's Couch firing. Moreland with the catch at the 35 and is wrapped up at the 36. A gain of 4. Let's take a look at the schedule for both teams next year. We will have new divisional matchups. And both teams will be in the North. And they will play each team in the NFC South, each team in the AFC South. And Pittsburgh will play the AFC East champ and Oakland. Cleveland will play the AFC East third place team and Kansas City. 2nd and 6 at the 36. Couch in trouble. And Couch sacked once again. Rodney Bailey this time. 4th sack of the day. Let's take a look at the new divisional alignment for next season. The AFC North will be Baltimore, Cincy, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. The South, Jacksonville, Indy, Tennessee, and the new Houston franchise. The East, Buffalo, Miami, New England, and the Jets. And the West, Denver.
Oh, it went off the screen.
Yeah, it went off
you can't
the screen.
read it now, huh?
Denver, Kansas City, San Diego, and Oakland.
There you go. They lose
Right.
Seattle to the NFC.
That's right.
Way to respond on the spot.
Yeah, you kind of caught me in mid-sentence there. Play action Couch. Underneath, Jamel White with the catch, and he is driven down by Mike Logan.
It's going to take me all off season to study the new divisions to figure out who's where.
Let's take a look at the NFC. You see the West, Arizona, St. Louis, the Niners, and Seattle going over to the NFC. And the rest.
Well, you just said the rest this time. Huh?
Yeah, I said the rest because our producer has a quick trigger finger.
He's more worried about women's college basketball.
Gardaki sends it away at the 29. And Edwards returns it to the 44. 43-yard punt, a 15-yard return. Flag on the play. So the referees trying to sort it out here. That's a football player. He looks exactly like a football player. Mark Smith.
Darn right. If you were gone against Mark Smith, you know he is a football player. Tough inside. And one of the guys the Browns got to re-sign and get rolling.
Holding 36 of the receiving team. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. 36 of the receiving team. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Gus Johnson, Brent Jones with you as Bill Cowher checks it out. Nice working with you again.
It's been great.
Was this 3 years or 4 years?
3 years.
3 years?
Your shoulder sore?
Yes. Okay. And you're a wise guy, too. I see why they don't like you in Cleveland.
How can you say that?
Why don't they like you in Cleveland?
Because I picked against them on one evening.
That's right. You better stop doing that.
I'm a big Cleveland fan.
All right. He's a big Cleveland fan. But great season. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
It's a pleasure to work with you.
It is a pleasure and a lot of fun as well. We got the best crew right here in the business. Our group.
The executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Terry Ewert. Our producer all season long, one of the best, if not the best in the business, Bob Monsbach, and our director, one of the great young directors in the business, Steve Milton. The associate director of today's game, Sean Robbins. The broadcast associate, Joel Dukart. Our field technical manager is Doug Fleetum. The technical director, Ed Collins. Our audio supervisor, he's got all the classic rock, Pete Adams. And our videotape supervisor, from Cleveland, Mookie Franta. And the straw that stirs the drink for us, folks, this man, Ricky Blaine, our ace cameraman in the booth, and our MVP of the season for our team, his name is Richard Newman. He does it all.
You call him Richard? Hello, Newman.
Hello, Newman. So with 2:28 to play, the referees are still trying to explain things. Our statistician this season, Russ Glenn. Our spotter, Benjamin Calhoun.
Number 17, T. Martin at quarterback.
So So now the Steelers head to the line of scrimmage, and we have a new quarterback, T. Martin. Get an opportunity here with 2:28 to go. They pitch it to Bowers, and Bowers stays in bounds. He'll let the clock run down. And that should take us to the 2-minute warning.
Tackled by Roger.
Both fouls on the kicking team. That's why the ball was put where it was at about the 44-yard line. So that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the season for the Browns.
So, set up a department meeting for tomorrow.
Just a reminder, CBS Sports NFL playoff coverage begins next Sunday with the AFC wild card. The action starts with Jim Nantz and company on the NFL Today at 3:30 Eastern Time. Kickoff is at 4:05. Second and 14. Martin deciding to run it. T. Martin crawls ahead and is tackled at the 37. An 8-yard gain. Cordell Stewart heading to the Pro Bowl. He's the team's MVP. They win the Central. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, a first-round bye. And they came in today and played hard in a meaningless game, Brent.
Yeah, and that's really the type of role that you want to be on. You feel good now about having the bye week. You feel like, hey, we've gone out, we've made a statement. Now let's healthy up. And the key, Gus, playoff time isn't necessarily how you play in your last game. It's how you practice between now and the playoffs. And, of course, Bill Cowher's going to have this team very focused.
They hand it off. Bowers taken down at the 35. Alvin McKinley with the tackle. Bill Cowher.
Your coach of the year.
My coach of the year, yes. And also the dean of coaches in the National Football League.
Yes, the most tenured coach in the NFL. Now that Denny Green is no longer a head coach.
As you take a look at the score, so what do you think briefly about what's gone on in the NFL and what could possibly go on?
I think I've heard all kinds of crazy things.
Spurrier and Tony Dungy, and
I've heard Denny Green in San Francisco, Steve Mariucci in San Diego, Steve Spurrier in Carolina or Washington. It's a coaching carousel.
And possibly Bill Parcells in Tampa.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
This is that time of year where crazy, wild rumors get spread, and you just sit back and watch. Unless you're in the playoffs, and then you don't have to worry about any of them.
One thing's for sure, that man will be staying in Pittsburgh. This is his home. Bill Cowher. Miller punting, wobbly kick. They're caught at the 14 by Kevin Johnson. Hines Ward got his 1,000 yards. Plexico Burrs got his 1,000 yards. And once again, coming up, game 2 of our doubleheader. The Jets in Oakland, Buffalo, Miami, Kansas City, and Seattle. After Jim Nantz and company in New York. Cordell Stewart and the Pittsburgh Steelers will get it rolling next week. They'll have the week off, but you can tell they have already turned up the intensity. After losing to Cincinnati last week, they came out and played hard from the opening snap, especially in the second half. Jamel White running over the 20. And that should do it. And that'll do it. The Pittsburgh Steelers have defeated the Cleveland Browns 28-7. The Steelers have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And they are talking Super Bowl here in the Steel City. Pittsburgh finishes 13-3 on the season. It's their first 13-win season since 1978. And that year, they won the Super Bowl. Cleveland falls to 7-9 on the year. So Cordell Stewart and company head into the locker room. Coach Cowher leading the way. Pittsburgh with the 28 7 wins. So for Brent Jones, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Pittsburgh. The final 28-7. Coming up next, it's the NFL Today with Jim Nantz. You've been watching the National Football League on CBS. Now let's go to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Gus. A nod to Bill Cowher and company, a great season. And a nod as well to Gus and Brent and Monzi and Milty as well. Great stuff. Pittsburgh 28-7 over the Browns. Let's get everybody up to date before we have some bonus coverage coming your way. Patriots are going to win the AFC East as we get
of enemy that Herman Edwards, Phil, says he likes.
Herman Edwards said, I'm going to come to the stadium, go out and talk to these people and say, wow, how long did it take you to get that outfit ready? So, love to see
the New York
fans that are really into the game.
The New York Jets have won the